Good morning everyone, it's Tom here from TechNexus again, and thanks for joining me in today's video on setting up our Plant 3D project and continuing on or starting with the P&IDs. But we continued on from yesterday's video of customizing the title block. So today we're going to start populating some data and some information in it. Now, since yesterday I have placed my sheets in paper space. And I have also added in a viewport here as well. So it's all locked at a scale of 1:1. And if I switch to model space, then you can see I have my rectangle here denoting the size of the sheet inside there. So again, I don't have to go outside of that, and I know it's going to be on my sheet proper. So I am using the standard pip symbology within P&ID, so for the time being I'm not going to go through the customization of that. That's going to be quite a lengthy video, but for this exercise I'm just going to use the out-of-the-box symbols. So I am going to place just a standard basic vessel, turn my snap on, so F9 for snap, and then that way I can adjust the scale, so that looks about right. If you click that button there, that'll give you the next number available in the series, and I'm also going to place the equipment tag as well. So I'll just turn F9 on, and then we have our tank. What we can also do is place the info tag, and that contains some of the information. We can double click on that and we can see that we do get our width and height and design pressure and temperature. So for the time being I don't know them, but I can populate them later. I'm also going to place a couple pumps. So I'm going to have a P1 and a P2. So P1 and a P2. And I'll do the same with the info tags, but in this drawing I want my pump info tags to be at the bottom of the screen. So I'm just going to place them on the grid there. Again, you can customize the grid to suit your own needs. I'm happy with the default. So from now we want to add in maybe some inlet lines to this vessel. So I know that my OPCs will sort of start finish about here on this grid, so I can come draw a line over, and you can see that P&ID has automatically placed a nozzle there for me. So I'll do the same with one towards the top of the vessel, and I'll do the same with one sort of about halfway down. And then let's do the system for the pumps. So I know I'm going to come from somewhere near the bottom of this vessel, come down to the pump and into the pump. Now that line, when we look at our data manager, the data manager is kind of a quick view to see what's happening in the sheet. So our primary line segment goes to the tank, to the pump from the tank. Now we have a secondary line branching off this. So when you do place another primary line segment, keep your eye on the command prompt down the bottom here. Now I'm snapping to my source line. Now on the command line it says continue or new. So I want it to be a new group. And then there we have our second line going to the pump from the source line. So branching off that line. And I'll do the same for the discharge line. So I'm going to come up to here and then somewhere around there. And then the same thing with the second pump. Now because we're starting at the pump, I don't need to do a new line group. It's just going to automatically create a new one, and then we're going to perpendicular snap to that other line. You see when I select it, it is selecting them as different line groups. Now, to do the on-off page connectors, I go to the non-engineering tab, off-page connector, and I can snap to the end of the line, and you'll see the software will automatically snap it to the other side of the OPC because that's the exit line. So same thing for those two inlets. Let's do the third one. And then for the discharge line of those pumps, I do the same. I just snap to the end, and obviously it's going to snap to the end as well. Now we don't have any data on here just yet, but I still want to connect this off-page connector to the second sheet. So I'm going to create a new drawing and do O1. It's still a P&ID and it's 0002. Pick my DWT file. Go OK. So I haven't changed this one around, but just for the sake of the exercise of the off-page connector, I'm going to run another line off here. And I'm going to connect my OPC to that. Now you'll see that there's this funny symbol on the end saying that it's not connected. So I'm just going to save my first sheet, close it, and then on my second sheet I'm going to pick the line, and if you zoom in there's a little blue plus symbol that says connect to. So when you click on it you get a new dialog and it says where are you going to connect to. So it says that there's must be connected to a line and the line number must be assigned before they are available. So if you do get this error, go back to your first sheet and assign a line number to it. So I know that this one's going to be the first line, so I'll just give it 1000. 1001. 1002, 1003. Now because we made this a second line number, second branch, I can give it its own line number, 1004, and I'm going to give the first pump the priority. So I'm going to make this 1005, so that's going to be the next one. And then I'm going to give this one 1006. Okay, and just to show that we do have the information on there, so again I can annotate, put the tag on it. So no size, spec, service, but we do have a number. So I can close this off. And again, do the same thing. Connect to. And now that we do have it, we can come in here and pick that line. You can see as I scroll through all of the numbers, you can see the OPCs that they're connected to. So then I can say OK, and you can see it's connected to 01 P&ID 0001. And if we look at the pipeline tag for this drawing, for this line, you can see we have inherited that. Now there are also some properties on here that may be related to the properties on the line, on the source line. So again, if we just come in here and we go right click, assign tag, so let's give it a 4-inch size, and I'm going to call it carbon steel 150, and I'm just going to give it a generic, no, let's call it a caustic line. Okay, and so you see the OPCs do pick up some of the properties of the lines that they're connected to. So depending on what your OPCs are, you can double click on these and you can see that there might be comment, connector, origin, but they do pick those up as well. So if I come back here and close this out, and then you can see that the values have populated through as well. So we can go through and again just type these in. Your one may or may not be different because again this is the out of the box one, so you'll just have to make sure that your line attribute tags, maybe you need to edit them to get to inherit values from wherever they're coming from, or again just leave them out of the box as well. So hopefully that's answered a few questions. What we'll do tomorrow, we'll go through and finish off assigning tags on here, and also we'll place some valves and some instrumentation. And in the meantime, I'm going to populate 2 more sheets of this. So I'm going to do a vessel and 2 pumps on this sheet. I'm going to do a tank and 2 pumps on a second sheet, and I'm going to do a reboiler and a pump on the third sheet. So we're going to have our own little system, and then we'll take that into into the 3D side of things. So if you like what you saw, click on the thumbs up. If you didn't, click on the thumbs down. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. See ya.